Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most significant rumors we've heard in a long time. And trust me, it's got the NFC East buzzing, especially Washington fans who are already dreaming about a serious upgrade on offense. There's a strong buzz circulating around the league, and it involves none other than Justin Jefferson, the absolute star receiver of the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jefferson is a franchise cornerstone, a guy who's been electrifying the league with his route running, speed, and hands. But the whispers suggest that the Vikings might be willing to part ways with him, and it's not a random rumor. It's coming from some pretty solid sources, and the implications could be huge for Washington. So let's break it down. The Vikings, as many of you know, are in a tricky spot financially. They're stuck with a negative cap space of around $18 million, and they're heading into a rebuild after a decent but not quite enough season with a 9-8 record in 2025. Their defense has been leaking points, giving up 24 points per game, and their offense, while dynamic, isn't quite enough to push them over the edge. They're in a situation where making tough decisions is inevitable, and trading away Justin Jefferson could be a part of that plan. The Vikings are reportedly eyeing flexibility for the future, especially with extensions pending for Harrison Smith and other key veterans, which means they might prioritize cap space and draft picks over keeping Jefferson long-term. Now, according to sources like Diana Rossini, this rumor has the potential to shake up the entire NFC, but for Washington fans, it's especially exciting. The idea is that the Vikings would trade Jefferson to the Commanders in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. Think about it. Adding Jefferson to a team that's already got a solid core could transform Washington's offense overnight. This move isn't just about adding a receiver, it's about elevating the entire offensive attack. Currently, Washington's passing game is decent but not explosive enough to consistently threaten defenses deep or stretch the field the way Jefferson can. Let's talk about Jefferson. This guy is not just any receiver, he's the king of route running, a true game changer. In 2025, he exploded with 108 receptions, 482 yards, and 12 touchdowns. His yards per route run sit at 2.4 with a target rate of 29.1%. He's a contested catch monster, winning 62% of those tight situations, and YAC, yards after catch, averages 6.1 yards per reception. His PFF grade for receiving is an incredible 92.4, and he's come to define what it means to be a big play receiver, with 22 plays longer than 20 yards. Jefferson's track record is stellar. He's been an All-Pro from 2020 through 2023, and in his career, he's amassed over 800 yards receiving and 48 touchdowns with no major injury issues in 2025. His impact as a deep threat rivals Randy Moss, and he's often credited with elevating quarterbacks, adding over 250 yards per game for his QBs, including those with less than stellar passing skills. Now, why would the Vikings consider trading him? Well, it's a combination of cap struggles and strategic priorities. They're looking at a financial squeeze with extensions pending for Harrison Smith, and they're focusing on rebuilding their defensive line. There's skepticism about relying heavily on volume-based receivers like Jefferson, especially when their offense ranks only 12th in PFF grade at 81.2, and their quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, has a turnover-worthy play rate of 4.2%. It's clear they want to build around their defense and younger secondary prospects, and that means making tough choices. Trading top-tier talent like Jefferson could free up the cap space they desperately need. Now picture this, Jefferson in Washington, paired with Terry McLaurin, who's having a fantastic season himself with an 88.6 PFF grade. That duo alone could become one of the league's most dangerous, creating mismatches all over the field. Jefferson's presence is a game changer. His ability to turn short routes into big gains, combined with McLaurin's speed and route running, would turn Washington's aerial attack into a nightmare for defenses. Currently, Washington averages about 218 passing yards per game, but with Jefferson, that number could skyrocket to around 290 yards per game, an 18% increase in EPA per target, and an additional 25% on deep routes. Imagine the impact on the offense. Jefferson's yards per route run could increase by 2-3 yards compared to current receivers, and his yards after catch could jump by 15%, which would also mean fewer punts and more sustained drives. The potential is enormous. Remember, in 2020, Stefon Diggs' move to Buffalo turned their offense into a juggernaut, boosting their efficiency by 22%. Jefferson does that for any team he joins, and Washington's offense, already promising with the development of QB Sam Howell and promising young tight end Sam Laporta, can reach new heights with his addition. This move could also significantly boost the Commanders' chances of making a deep playoff run, even elevating their odds of winning a Super Bowl. Currently, they're considered long shots at around plus 5,000, but with Jefferson, those odds could drop to plus 1,800, making them real contenders. He's an X-factor in the playoffs, capable of breaking zones, flipping momentum with big plays, and creating mismatches against defenses that can't keep up with his speed and route precision. Think about how he'd elevate the entire offense, making defenses fear the deep ball while opening up opportunities underneath. Now, of course, the Vikings are likely to be cautious. They're rebuilding, they want to keep their options open, and they're probably betting on their young secondary and defensive line to carry the team in the future. But for Washington, this isn't just about adding a star receiver. It's about making a statement. It's about transforming the offense into a high-powered aerial assault capable of competing with the best in the league. With a cap space of about $80 million heading into 2026, the Commanders have the financial flexibility to make this happen, even if it means some creative moves or restructures. This trade, if it comes to fruition, would be a true turning point. It's a clear signal that Washington isn't settling anymore. They're going all in on building a potent, explosive offense that can compete at the highest level. Jefferson's arrival would send shockwaves through the league, and for Commanders fans, it's the kind of move that could define a new era, one where the team's aerial attack is feared across the NFL. Looking ahead, the impact of this acquisition would ripple across the NFC East and beyond. It would give Washington a legitimate weapon that defenses would have to game plan around every single week. The chemistry between Jefferson and Howell could develop quickly, especially considering Jefferson's ability to create separation and make plays in tight coverage. His route-running mastery and ability to make contested catches would be invaluable, especially in clutch moments and big games. And let's not forget the importance of the fans here. We've been waiting for a move like this, something bold that signals the team's serious about competing now, not just rebuilding quietly. Jefferson's addition would energize the entire fan base, ignite the atmosphere at FedEx Field, and remind everyone that the Commanders are back in the hunt with a vengeance. It's about making a statement, about showing that Washington is ready to compete with the best, and that they're willing to make bold moves to get there. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet, and the Vikings are well aware of Jefferson's value. But if this trade does happen, it would be one of the biggest offseason moves in recent NFL history, and it would change the landscape of the NFC East overnight. The Commanders would be a team to watch every Sunday, with a true game breaker on offense capable of flipping the script in any game. Now I want to hear from you, Washington fans. What do you think about this potential blockbuster? Would you trade a first-round pick for Jefferson? How do you see him fitting into the offense? Are you excited about the idea of seeing him lining up in burgundy and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates and insights on this story and everything else happening around the Washington Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep pushing forward together as a family. This is just the beginning of what could be an incredible new chapter for our team.